So we got another Netflix original film with actually a really good cast and a pretty good director. The question is it any good? That's the big question. I'm Mac from MacTheMovieGuy.com, and this is a review of Operation Mincemeat. If you're new to my channel, I'm a blind film critic, so that's what makes me different than all the others. So I'm going to be talking about something called audio description. So if you don't know what that is, stay tuned, because we'll get to that after I talk a little bit about the movie. So this is one of those war movies that's not, it is a war movie technically, because it's about war. It just doesn't feature a lot of like actual war imagery. This is not a combat movie. This is about like behind the scenes stuff going on, shenanigans, espionage during World War II. And they've picked out Colin Firth for this one, and Matthew McFadden, and Kelly MacDonald is in this, and Johnny Flynn plays Ian Fleming. So that was interesting. Yeah, there's a couple people in here who you might recognize from some other things, but it's pretty well done. It's directed by John Madden, who probably best known for directing Shakespeare in Love. So he does have a Best Picture winner under his belt. Kind of makes you wonder how he got a straight to Netflix movie that isn't being given a theatrical run or even remotely close to award season. And that's probably because this film is okay. I'm not gonna say it's bad, but I can't also be like, oh my god, this movie was amazing. Because it's padded. The biggest problem with Operation Mincemeat is that it's padded. It's based on a true story, which in itself is an interesting one. Back during World War II, I guess there was a mission which was originally called the obvious Operation Trojan Horse, and then they were like, wait, that's too obvious. What else should we call it? And it ended up Operation Mincemeat. And the long and short story is that they devised a plan which involves sort of dropping a corpse that had some fake information to try to draw the Nazi troops to somewhere else, to make them believe that they weren't about to invade, so that way troops would get pulled away from the place they wanted to invade, so that they'd head somewhere else. It is based on a true story, so you would know whether or not it's successful or not, but since the whole film hinges on the suspense of whether or not the mission is successful, I feel like reminding you of history is just kind of a dick move at this point. Just be like, and by the way, I know it's in history, but if you just read your history books, you would know this. It plays out the way history played it out. That's the best way I can say that. There's some fun stuff happening where they think somebody's a spy and they have somebody watching somebody else. It deals with a lot of things about Jewish families leaving England just in case England gets invaded by the Nazis, because they realize they're not safe there either. So kind of getting out while they can. There's stuff in here that's interesting. There's even stuff that's rather humorous. The scenes when they were trying to find which dead body to use sort of lightened the whole movie, because the rest of the movie is kind of serious, because they're talking about World War II and invasion and Jews being murdered and just a whole lot of heavy topics. So when they're going through the dead bodies, that one is kind of funny. There's one guy that doesn't have any legs, and they're like, we can't use this. This doesn't have any legs. Like, what are you, why are you giving, so they keep trying to go through the dead bodies to find the right one, which I suppose in itself is at least a chuckle. in the middle of this film. But I mean, it's got good actors. Colin Firth, Matthew McFadden, they're good actors. So it's well acted. The film is just padded to shit. It is so padded. This movie runs over 2 hours. It's 2 hours and 7 minutes long. This did not need to be 2 hours and 7 minutes long. And it's not necessarily that the film is boring. I don't want to call the film boring. It's just there's so many scenes of like dancing, and they throw in like romance and things that are not pertinent to the plot at all. Like a whole bunch of side stories just to like fill time. They feel like they're all filling time. And yeah, John Madden's a great director, and he can do a lot with things. But you know what? He also made Captain Corelli's Mandolin. So why don't you, not constantly, roll the dice all the time? Just play it safe and don't pad the shit out of the film, and you'll be fine. There's a story here. There's a nice tight story that probably is about 15 minutes shorter than what it needed to be if they had just trimmed the storylines down and not forced all of this extra stuff in it and just focused on the mission. Like Valkyrie, just focus on the mission. Don't add a whole bunch of extra crap into the film. Just make it. The film is called Operation Mincemeat. It is not called That One Time. And then we get to see about all these people in their lives and who they were in love with and their relationships and the back and forth and the conversations. And that's what we end up getting. We end up getting a much longer film because for some reason we need to know about all of these characters, romances, backstories. They need to go to dances. They need to have all of these interactions and develop friendships, and it's just the film is so much longer than it needs to be. Some people would call that character development. I would say that considering how simple this mission actually is, that you could still make this movie with an hour and 45 minutes and you would still have tons of character development. What I'm talking about is just limiting the extra story arcs. There are like 20 story arcs in this film and you need about 10 of them. Just like trim them down, focus, don't get so scattershot, make sure to always maintain focus on the main operation and not a bunch of other side things about people's feelings, and just keep it going forward. And this could have been a really tight, nice, memorable World War II spy drama thriller, however they wanted to play it out. Instead, it's kind of a bit of a mess that needed some editing or a second pass on the script or something. It's not quite there. It's also not bad. That's why I said it's okay. It's fine. John Madden manages to pull off a film that you just feel like could have been better. It's not that the film is so bad I would say, no, don't watch it. Stay away from this film, because it's not that at all. Anybody who says this film is just a total waste of time is probably just an asshole. It's just that this film has so much extra stuff in it. It's like putting a tiny gift in a giant box. You know what I'm saying? And like you're looking through all this, all the those styrofoam peanuts, and you're trying to find your present. And you're like, why did you put it in such a big box? Why are there so many peanuts in here? I just want to find my gift. That's this film. The film is somewhere in there, and you have to just keep searching for it. Instead, somebody else could have just put it in a smaller box, or just wrap the gift individually. But no, they put it in a giant box and filled it with packing peanuts because they thought they were going to be cute. It's not cute. It's not fun. Because you spend far too long trying to find the actual thing that you're supposed to find. So that's Operation Mincemeat. The acting's fine. And honestly, I don't really have much to say about the narration, because the narration was fine too. It was well written. It was well described. It was easy to follow. It was everything that I needed it to be from a film of this genre. There is not a lot of violence This isn't really gory. The goriest thing are the couple of times that they deal with a corpse. Otherwise, there isn't really any gore in this film. I'm not even really sure how gory that is until sort of they wait a little bit too long. Corpses deteriorate over time, so the corpse gets, and they bring it up in the script. They're like, it's getting a little ripe. We need to kind of move on Operation Mincemeat because we picked the corpse a little too early. We're sitting on it a little too long because it involved a whole bunch of like fake telegraphs and stuff, and trying to get the Nazis to, pick up on all this movement. And I mean, they really set up the whole thing. So it took a little bit of time, but, was not like a 48-hour thing. Yeah, I mean, that's like the only thing, but, there is like a slight battle sequence that's very limited, and it's like, like nowhere near any substantial war movie. This is not Saving Private Ryan or Hacksaw Ridge. This is, I don't know, Max, that dog movie. I don't know, something like that. It's really limited. It's like 2 minutes of the film is fighting, maybe. That's an approximation in my head. Then again, time did not become relative to me because I was like, why is this movie so long? Where are we in the script? Are we getting close to nope, we have more to go. Okay, we're doing more. We got to talk to this character now. We got to learn more. So I lost time relativity while watching this, but maybe it's about 2 minutes. So, yeah, good audio description. The film is okay. If you want to watch it on Netflix, go for it. It's a Netflix original. It's the only place you can watch it. They have to have originals. They refuse to release them in theaters. So if you don't have Netflix, I guess you can't watch this. And you wouldn't be missing anything. But if you're a huge Colin Firth fan, or you really like Matthew McFadden or Kelly MacDonald, or Johnny Flynn or any of the other actors in the film, or you're, such a completionist for John Madden films and you have to see all of them, then by all means, I'm not going to stop you. I'm not going to say that this film is unwatchable, because it's not. Now it's time to grade the film. I'm going to give Operation Mincemeat a C+. That's like just a little bit above average. So that would be a slight recommend, I guess. Mainly because, like I said, the actors are on point, and John Madden somehow manages to direct a film that's all over the place. He's just that good that even though the film just is overstuffed, he still somehow managed to direct a film that didn't feel like a dirge. It's just noticeably like they're just doing things that have no relevance to the plot, and you're like, that scene could have been cut. Like this scene could have been cut. You just kind of go through the film and you're like, we don't need that. Like an editor easily, just given full reign on this film, could easily make this film shorter, and it would be like amazing. Might have even been up for Oscar consideration. Who knows? But we get what we get, right? So that's it. Let me know what you think in the comments. Don't forget to like and subscribe and tell all your friends. It helps algorithms and stuff like that. The more subscribers and the more likes, I think, I don't know, that's what I keep seeing other YouTubers saying when they whore themselves out for other likes and subscribes. And then they get to do commercials for things like glasses.com, where you can get glasses, just in case you didn't know what that site meant. I can't wait for somebody like glasses.com to have a blind film critic. let me endorse that product. Yeah, you can go to the audio description project and you can find out what has audio description, where it's at, how to watch it, that kind of stuff. And you can visit MacTheMovieGuy.com for more reviews from me. And that is it. I'm going to wrap it up quicker than John Madden wrapped up this film. Hopefully under 20 minutes.